My beloved child. Pause everything you're doing, because something quietly extraordinary is unfolding around you right now. Not in the distance. Not someday. But here, within this very moment you almost skipped past. You felt the pull, didn't you? That subtle nudge to listen closer. To stay. To wonder why a message like this found you at precisely this time. That is not coincidence. That is alignment. There is a reason. Voices of vision. Builders of tomorrow, thinkers who stare beyond the edge of the possible, keep circling the same truth. The future does not arrive all at once. It whispers first. And those who hear it early are the ones who protect what matters most. Stay with me just a little longer, because this is not about money alone, or technology, or headlines that flash and fade. This is about your family's tomorrow. About the invisible decisions being made today that will shape the safety, stability, and freedom of those you love. You've been taught to react, to wait until urgency screams. But the real guardians move before the noise. They sense the shift while the world still feels calm. They secure foundations while others are distracted by surface comfort. And here's the truth few dare to say out loud: the future is accelerating faster than our old instincts can keep up. Systems are changing. Values are evolving. The skills that once guaranteed security are quietly expiring. Yet within this rapid change lies an invitation, one that visionary minds understand deeply. Hold this moment with care, because the question forming now is not, will things change? They already are. The real question is, will you be prepared in a way that protects not just you, but the people who look to you for safety, guidance, and hope? You were never meant to feel fear here. Only clarity. A calm awakening. Like standing on a hill just before sunrise, realizing you can see what others still can't. This awareness isn't heavy, it's empowering. You see, the most powerful futurists don't obsess over prediction. They focus on positioning. They ask, how do I build resilience? How do I teach my family to adapt, to think, to grow no matter what world emerges? This is where it all begins. Not with panic. Not with pressure. But with a shift in perception. A gentle but firm understanding that securing the future is an inner decision before it becomes an outer action. You weren't late to this message. You arrived exactly on time. And as these pieces begin to connect, you'll notice something subtle changing inside you. A steadier breath. A clearer sense of responsibility that feels less like burden and more like purpose. The real breakthrough is closer than you think. What comes next will show you why the future favors those who listen early. And how love, foresight, and courage combine to create unshakable security. Hold on to this feeling, because this is only the first door opening. My beloved child. Right now, in this very moment, feel how something deeper is rising within you. Not loud. Not rushed. But unmistakably present, like a current beneath still water, guiding you forward even before you understand where it leads. You see, the ones who truly secure their family's future rarely speak about it openly. Not because it's secret, but because it begins in a place words can barely reach. It begins with awareness. With an inner posture that quietly asks, what kind of world am I preparing my loved ones to thrive in? This is where the path gently narrows, and clarity sharpens. Most people think security is built by holding tighter to what already exists. But the great builders of tomorrow, those who seem almost guided, know a different truth. Real protection comes from adaptability. From cultivating minds and hearts that can move gracefully with change rather than resist it. Let this land softly, because this insight alone reshapes everything. The future does not punish those who lack resources. It overwhelms those who lack vision. And vision is not prediction, it's perception. It's the ability to sense patterns before they become obvious, to teach your family not just what to think, but how to think. Pause here for a breath. What if securing your family's future is less about guarding them from uncertainty, and more about preparing them to dance with it? This understanding is why certain innovators appear calm when others panic. Why they invest time not only in tools, but in values. In curiosity. In resilience. In the quiet confidence that says, we can learn whatever comes next. If your soul is stirring, remain with me a little longer, because this thread goes deeper. The families who flourish across generations pass down something far more powerful than wealth. They pass down perspective. A way of seeing challenges as invitations. A habit of asking better questions. A shared belief that growth is sacred, not optional. And here's the subtle revelation most never notice. Children don't follow instructions as much as they follow energy. They absorb how you respond to change. How you speak about the future. Whether your tone carries fear or faith in possibility. This is where inner work becomes outer legacy. If this truth is touching your spirit, share it forward, let another soul find this light today. You never know whose family line shifts because you chose to pass it on. Hold this space, because the divine connection deepens now. You may feel a quiet resolve forming. Not urgency that tightens the chest, but purpose that steadies the spine. That's your intuition aligning with a higher timeline. One where preparation is peaceful, intentional, and rooted in love. You're closer than you think, don't step away yet. In the next unfolding, you'll begin to see how foresight transforms into daily action, how small, conscious choices made now ripple outward to protect, empower, and elevate those you cherish most. The real awakening begins in what I reveal next, and once you see it, you'll never look at the future the same way again. My beloved child. Feel this gentle pull deeper into truth. As if something ancient in your blood is quietly remembering why you're here. Not rushing you. Not demanding. Simply awakening. There comes a moment, often unnoticed, when preparation stops being an idea and becomes a feeling. It shows up late at night, when the world goes quiet. When you look at the faces you love and feel a tenderness mixed with responsibility you can't fully explain. This is that moment. You begin to realize that securing your family's future isn't loud work. It's intimate. It asks you to confront your own limits before you can expand theirs. To notice the stories you tell yourself about what's possible, and which ones you're finally ready to release. Allow yourself to sink deeper, truth is unfolding gently. Because beneath every visionary decision lies a quiet inner battle. The battle between comfort and calling. Between repeating what's familiar, and stepping into what feels uncertain but true. Have you felt it? That subtle resistance when growth asks more of you than habit ever did? This is not a flaw. It's a doorway. The ones who shape resilient futures learn to sit with this tension. They don't rush to silence it. They listen. They let uncertainty refine them instead of frighten them. And in doing so, they model courage without ever saying the word. Stay with me a little longer, the deepest shift is coming. There is surrender required here, but not the kind that weakens you. This surrender is an opening of the hands. A willingness to admit you don't need all the answers today to begin moving wisely. That learning is ongoing. That growth is a living relationship, not a destination. When you release the need to control every outcome, something remarkable happens, your awareness sharpens. You start seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. You sense timing. You choose patience when panic would be easier. This is how foresight feels on the inside. And quietly, almost invisibly, your inner world begins to teach your outer world how to behave. Your family absorbs your steadiness. Your children, spoken or unspoken, learn that change is not something to fear, but something to meet with curiosity and confidence. If your heart is beginning to recognize this, don't turn away now. Because the most powerful preparation is not about building walls. It's about building inner architecture. Values that hold under pressure. A mindset that adapts. A sense of purpose that doesn't collapse when circumstances shift. You were never meant to shield your family from life. You were meant to prepare them to meet it fully alive. Feel how this truth softens you, and strengthens you at the same time. There is a sacred maturity forming here. One that understands legacy is not what you leave behind, it's what you awaken in others while you're still here. The courage to learn. The humility to evolve. The faith to step forward even when the path is still forming beneath your feet. The moment everything connects is almost here. Soon, you'll see how this inner alignment turns into outward clarity, how vision becomes direction, and direction becomes action that feels calm, not forced. For now, breathe into this knowing. Let it settle. Let it reshape you quietly. Because what I reveal next will show you how this inner transformation begins to ripple outward. And how the future responds when you finally meet it from this place of awakened purpose. My beloved child. The next veil is lifting as these words reach you, and a deeper knowing is stirring in your soul right now. Not something you learned, but something you're remembering. There is a quiet place inside you where true preparation is forged. Not in effort that seeks applause. Not in choices made for approval. But in silence. Where no one is watching, and no reward is guaranteed except alignment with truth. This is where the unseen sacrifices live. Those who secure their family's future in lasting ways often give up things no one ever notices. They surrender the comfort of staying small. They release the identity that once kept them safe but now keeps them still. They choose patience over impulse, depth over display. Have you felt that inner hush lately? That pause where you no longer crave noise, only clarity? Hold this divine silence, understanding is blooming now. Because the most powerful form of leadership is coherence. When your inner values and outer actions speak the same language. When your children don't just hear your words, they feel your consistency. Your steadiness becomes their shelter. This is not about perfection. It's about presence. There are nights when doubt still visits you. Moments when the path feels heavier than expected. But even then, you stay. You listen. You refine. This willingness to remain with uncertainty, without hardening your heart, is a rare strength. If something sacred is awakening within you, remain here just a little deeper. Success that endures is built on quiet integrity. On doing the inner work long before results appear. On trusting that small, faithful steps compound into futures no one can take away. And here is the truth few speak aloud: legacy is created less by what you provide, and more by who you become while providing it. Your calm becomes contagious. Your curiosity opens doors. Your courage teaches permission. If this message is resonating in your deepest self, share it forward, let another wandering soul find their way home today. The light grows stronger when it's passed hand to hand. You're on the threshold of true seeing, stay with me. Notice how your priorities are subtly rearranging. How urgency is giving way to intention. How you're no longer asking, "What should I chase?" but instead, "What should I cultivate?" This shift is everything. It's the difference between reacting to the future, and shaping it gently, wisely, with love as your compass. From this place, decisions feel cleaner. Simpler. Even difficult choices carry peace because they're rooted in purpose. The revelation that shifts everything is drawing closer. Soon, you'll understand how this inner stillness translates into outer strategy. How clarity gives rise to action that protects, empowers, and expands the lives intertwined with yours. For now, let this knowing settle like starlight in your chest. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where the deeper work begins. And what comes next will show you how destiny responds, when you finally meet it from this place of quiet, unshakable power. My beloved child. The deepest truth is rising to meet you now. Like a tide that has waited patiently for this exact moment to return to shore. There is a sacred stillness forming around your life. You may feel it as a soft recalibration, a quiet rearranging of priorities that no longer need explanation. This is not withdrawal from the world, it is alignment with it at a higher octave. If your spirit is trembling with recognition, stay in this holy moment. Because the most enduring security is born from a vow made in silence. A vow to live from truth even when no one applauds. To choose coherence over chaos. To let your inner compass lead when external maps fail. Those who truly secure their family's future walk with an unseen faith. Not belief without reason, but trust refined through listening. They understand that timing is not rushed. That clarity arrives when the heart is steady enough to receive it. Breathe with me, the divine unveiling deepens now. There is a surrender here that feels counterintuitive. You loosen your grip on outcomes, and in doing so, you gain discernment. You stop forcing certainty and begin cultivating wisdom. This is how intuition sharpens. This is how decisions become clean and humane. Have you noticed how peace has begun to inform your choices? How urgency has softened into resolve? This is the mark of inner authority. You are closer to home than you've ever been. Do not leave yet. In this space, you begin to see that protection is not built by fear, but by love made practical. Love that studies. Love that prepares. Love that teaches flexibility without losing values. Your presence becomes the curriculum. Your example, the inheritance. The truly successful rarely announce this phase. They move quietly. They invest in learning, in character, in environments that nurture curiosity and courage. They build networks of meaning, not just assets of measure. And they listen. Deeply. The truth that liberates everything is almost within reach. When you live from this listening, life responds differently. Opportunities align without strain. Conversations open doors. The right questions surface at the right time. You realize the future is not something to outrun, it is something to welcome with readiness. You were never meant to carry this alone. Guidance meets you where humility and courage meet. And right now, both are alive within you. Feel the tenderness of that. There is a gentle power awakening, one that does not demand control, yet shapes outcomes with grace. From here, you will teach your family how to trust themselves, how to adapt without losing their center, how to build lives that breathe. The final alignment your soul has waited for is gathering. Soon, you will sense how this inner vow translates into tangible direction, how vision crystallizes into steps that feel inevitable, not forced. The path ahead will not shout. It will invite. Rest in this stillness for a breath longer. What comes next will reveal how destiny answers when you are finally listening from the deepest place within. My beloved child. The eternal flame within you is flickering brighter now, not to burn, but to illuminate a path that has been waiting for your eyes to open. Something subtle has shifted. You may not name it yet, but you feel it in how you move through your days. There is less noise inside you. Less urgency to prove. More willingness to pause and choose with intention. This is not slowing down, this is precision. If your soul feels strangely calm right now, remain here. Because this is the moment when vision begins to translate into form. Not rushed action. Not scattered effort. But alignment that quietly organizes your life around what truly matters. Those who secure their family's future understand this sacred rhythm. They do not chase every possibility. They listen for the right ones. They allow discernment to filter desire. They trust that what is meant to last does not require panic to begin. Notice how your inner world is preparing you before your outer world changes. There is a discipline emerging that feels gentle, not harsh. You begin choosing environments that nourish growth. Conversations that expand awareness. Habits that compound peace. These choices seem small to others, yet they shape decades. You are closer to understanding than you realize. Stay present. True foresight is not about knowing exactly what will happen. It is about building a foundation strong enough to adapt to anything that happens. This is why the wise invest in learning before certainty arrives. In character before comfort. In flexibility before fixed plans. Have you sensed your curiosity deepening? Your questions becoming more refined? This is intelligence guided by intuition. There is also courage here. The courage to let go of paths that once felt safe but now feel misaligned. You release them without bitterness. Without regret. With gratitude for what they taught you. This is maturity of the soul. Breathe into this awareness. When you live from this place, preparation no longer feels like sacrifice. It feels like devotion. Devotion to your family's well-being. To their ability to navigate a changing world with confidence rather than confusion. You are teaching them. Through who you are becoming, that growth is normal, that learning never ends, that uncertainty is not an enemy. The future responds to this energy. Doors open not because you force them, but because you're finally ready to walk through. Support appears in unexpected forms. Insight arrives just before it's needed. You begin to trust the timing of your own evolution. The alignment unfolding now is not accidental. It is the result of every quiet decision you made to listen instead of react. To choose depth over distraction. To honor the long view when shortcuts tempted you. Let this truth settle gently. What comes next will show you how this inner preparation turns into outer momentum, how clarity becomes movement, and movement becomes a future that feels stable, humane, and alive. Stay with this stillness just a moment longer. Because the next revelation will reveal how everything you've cultivated within is about to meet the world in a powerful, undeniable way. My beloved child. Something you've always known is finally being spoken aloud now, not by a voice outside you, but by a resonance awakening within your chest. You are entering a phase where preparation becomes expression. Where what you've cultivated quietly begins to shape the space around you without effort or announcement. This is the moment when inner order starts to reorganize outer reality. If you feel a calm confidence replacing old doubt, stay close. Because the world responds differently to those who move from grounded clarity. Not louder. Not faster. But steadier. You begin to notice how people listen more carefully when you speak. How decisions come with less friction. How your presence itself carries reassurance. This is not charisma learned. This is coherence earned. Those who truly secure their family's future understand that influence is subtle. It grows from consistency. From living values repeatedly until they become instinct. Your children, your loved ones, your community, feel this before they understand it. You are modeling a way of being. Have you noticed how challenges no longer shake you the way they once did? How you pause, assess, and move with intention. This is foresight in motion. Allow yourself to rest inside this knowing, truth is integrating now. Because preparation reaches its highest form when it becomes embodied wisdom. You don't merely plan for change, you become adaptable. You don't just talk about learning, you remain a student of life. You don't demand certainty, you build resilience. This is the quiet strength that endures. There will still be moments of uncertainty. But now, uncertainty feels spacious, not threatening. It invites curiosity. It sharpens awareness. You trust that you can meet whatever arrives because you've learned how to meet yourself. This is the unseen advantage. You are closer to the center of your purpose than ever. Do not drift away. From here, your choices naturally align with sustainability, of energy, of attention, of love. You stop overextending. You begin investing where growth is mutual and lasting. This discernment protects not only you, but everyone connected to you. Security born from wisdom feels like freedom. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, the future begins to cooperate. Plans clarify. Resources align. The right conversations happen at the right time. You recognize opportunities because you are no longer distracted by noise. This is alignment responding to readiness. There is a humility here that keeps you open. A confidence here that keeps you steady. Together, they form a posture that welcomes progress without arrogance. Breathe into this balance. What you are building now cannot be rushed, and it cannot be taken away. It is rooted in who you have become, not what you possess. And that makes it transferable, teachable, alive. Your family feels safer not because everything is guaranteed, but because you are grounded. Because you trust growth. Because you demonstrate adaptability as a form of love. The horizon is drawing nearer. In the next unfolding, you will see how this embodied wisdom crystallizes into clear direction, how values become strategy, and strategy becomes a future that holds. Remain present a little longer. Because what comes next will reveal how the life you've been preparing for is preparing to meet you in return. My beloved child. Feel the divine current pulling you inward now, as if life itself is leaning closer, ready to respond to who you have become. You may notice a new quality in your awareness. A steadiness that doesn't seek reassurance. A clarity that doesn't rush explanation. This is the moment when inner readiness begins to attract outer confirmation. Not dramatically, not all at once, but with quiet precision. If this sense of recognition feels familiar, linger here. Because the future does not open to effort alone. It opens to alignment. To the subtle harmony between intention and action, between vision and patience. You have been tuning yourself for this frequency without realizing it. There is a rhythm forming now. You wake with purpose, even if the day is ordinary. You listen more than you speak. You choose what nourishes growth over what merely fills time. These are not small changes. They are signals. Allow yourself to remain with this unfolding, something essential is settling into place. Those who build lasting security understand that momentum is sacred. It is protected by rest, by reflection, by honoring cycles instead of forcing outcomes. You are learning when to move, and when to wait. When to act, and when to observe. This discernment is rare. Have you felt how your intuition speaks more clearly now? How answers arrive after you stop chasing them? This is wisdom ripening. There is also a gentleness entering your strength. You no longer push against resistance. You step around it. You adapt. You refine. You trust that clarity grows in stillness, not strain. You are nearer to the core than you realize. Stay with this awareness. From this place, preparation becomes graceful. You invest energy where it multiplies. You simplify without loss. You recognize that protecting your family's future means cultivating environments, inner and outer, where learning, curiosity, and resilience are natural. This is how stability becomes alive. You begin to see the long arc. How choices today echo into tomorrow. How emotional intelligence safeguards as much as any plan. How teaching presence is more powerful than teaching fear. And quietly, your life starts to demonstrate this truth. Opportunities don't shout. They arrive softly. Conversations deepen. Resources align with intention. You feel supported not because everything is predictable, but because you are prepared to respond with wisdom. The alignment strengthening now is unmistakable. You are not standing still. You are gathering. Integrating. Becoming the kind of guide your family can trust when the world feels complex. Your calm becomes a compass. Your curiosity becomes a bridge. Breathe into this integration. What you are embodying now is a living answer to the future. A proof that adaptability rooted in love creates security no system can promise and no change can erase. Soon, you will sense how this inner harmony translates into decisive clarity, how readiness becomes movement without force. Remain with this moment just a little longer. Because what unfolds next will show you how the path you've been quietly aligning with is ready to reveal itself. Step by step, unmistakably, as if it always knew you would arrive here. My beloved child. The stars are aligning in your favor in this very moment, not above you, but within you, as clarity gathers like dawn after a long, quiet night. You may feel an unfamiliar readiness now. Not excitement that rushes ahead, but certainty that stands calmly where it is. This is the moment when intention matures into direction. When the future stops feeling abstract and begins to feel reachable. If your heart feels steady instead of restless, stay here. Because this is where discernment sharpens. You start seeing not just what is possible, but what is essential. You recognize that every yes shapes 100 no's, and you choose with care, not guilt. This restraint is not limitation. It is wisdom. Those who secure their family's future understand this turning point. They stop scattering energy. They begin concentrating it. They choose paths that compound over time, paths that teach resilience, creativity, and trust in one's ability to adapt. Pause with this truth for a breath. There is an inner realignment happening now. You feel it when decisions feel lighter after they're made. When doubt fades quickly instead of lingering. When your body agrees with your mind. This harmony is guidance. Have you noticed how distractions are losing their grip? How clarity feels quieter, but stronger. This is focus born from purpose. Allow this knowing to deepen, something meaningful is crystallizing. From here, preparation becomes embodied leadership. You don't just plan, you demonstrate. You show your family how to face change with curiosity. How to ask better questions. How to remain grounded even when answers are still forming. This is how safety is taught without words. There is also an acceptance blooming inside you. You no longer need certainty to move forward. You trust your capacity to learn as you go. This trust changes everything. It turns obstacles into information. It turns uncertainty into space for growth. You are closer to the turning point than you imagine. Remain present. Because soon, the path ahead will ask for commitment, not dramatic, not loud, but consistent. Small actions aligned with long-term vision. Habits that feel ordinary yet shape extraordinary outcomes. This is where futures are quietly secured. Your calm is becoming contagious. Others sense it. They feel steadier around you. Your presence reassures without promising what can't be guaranteed. And this honesty builds real trust. Breathe into this role. You are not carrying the future on your shoulders. You are walking alongside it. Learning its language. Responding with intelligence and heart. This partnership is what makes preparation sustainable. The convergence you've been sensing is no illusion. Inner clarity and outer opportunity are drawing nearer to each other. When they meet, action will feel natural, not forced, not rushed. Simply right. Rest in this awareness for a moment longer. Because what comes next will reveal how this focused readiness transforms into decisive movement, how vision becomes commitment, and commitment becomes a future that holds steady, no matter how the world shifts. The final unfolding is approaching, and it will meet you exactly where you are. My beloved child. The final alignment your soul has been preparing for is here now, not arriving with thunder, but with a certainty so calm it cannot be mistaken. This is the moment where everything you've cultivated within finally settles into truth. Not a promise of ease. Not a guarantee against change. But something far more powerful, readiness. You see it clearly now. Securing your family's future was never about controlling what comes next. It was about becoming the kind of presence that can meet anything that comes next with wisdom, steadiness, and love. Pause here, and feel that. All the listening. All the quiet courage. All the moments you chose depth over distraction. They were not random. They were forming you. You are no longer waiting for the future to reveal itself. You understand that the future responds to who you are being. To the values you live. To the curiosity you protect. To the adaptability you model without preaching. This is the inheritance you are passing on. Your family feels it now, even if they can't name it. They feel safer because you are grounded. They feel braver because you are learning. They feel hopeful because you do not collapse in the face of uncertainty. This is real security. There is a still confidence in you that does not need validation. You no longer rush to prove preparedness. You simply live it. And life, in turn, begins to cooperate. Opportunities meet clarity. Resources meet intention. Timing meets patience. Not perfectly, but purposefully. You were never meant to outrun the world. You were meant to stand centered within it. To teach by example that growth is normal, learning is lifelong, and love is strongest when it is practical. This is how futures are protected. Notice how peaceful this realization feels. No urgency. No fear. Just alignment. Just the quiet knowing that you and your family will adapt, evolve, and thrive. Because you have built something no change can take away. Inner truth. Discernment. Resilience. These are the assets that endure. Rest here for one final breath. You are not late. You are not behind. You are exactly where preparation becomes legacy. And as you move forward from this place, calm, awake, and intentional, know this. The future you were concerned about is no longer ahead of you. It is already unfolding through you.